So in these strange times that we live in, I find myself constantly flitting around between different activities to keep myself occupied and vaguely sane. Some of these are useful. Some of them are not particularly productive, but are fun nonetheless. And some of them are ultimately self-destructive bad habits. As a self-declared language nerd then, it seemed inevitable that at some point I would see if I could add a new language to my repertoire, and a couple of weeks ago I finally settled on giving Dutch a go. So I consulted my dear friends Google and YouTube, looking for some resources to get me started, and I came across a number of bold claims about learning Dutch in your sleep. Now, to say that I was skeptical about this is somewhat of an understatement. I mean, the idea that you could just go to bed one night and then wake up suddenly in the morning understanding a language that you were previously unfamiliar with seems like one heck of a stretch to me. But do you know what? I thought it might be an interesting experiment. At the end of the day, if it could work, then it could be a game changer. I mean, even if it only allowed you to understand a few spoken words, then it could save language learners time during the day, but also it could remove some of the resistance that people feel towards learning languages because of their perceived difficulty. We already know that our brains do incredible things while we're asleep, filing away and organising our thoughts, etching away things that we've learned into our long-term memories, so you know what, maybe it wasn't that much of a stretch after all. So I decided to temporarily put my skepticism aside and held off on actively learning any Dutch during the day to see if I could pick some up by osmosis while also getting a bit of shut-eye. If you search for Learn Dutch in Your Sleep on YouTube, you get various results, as you can see. I decided to go with this video at the top because it has the most views, and it's got quite a lot of likes as well, which may suggest that people have had some kind of success with it as well. Here's how it went. Okay, so here we go. The time is 10:30 PM on the dot, and we're going to have a go at learning some Dutch while getting 40 winks. I've got a YouTube video ready to go, which claims to be able to teach you Dutch while you sleep over an 8-hour period. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll report back in the morning if I can say anything in Dutch. Good night. Okay, so good morning. Not the greatest night's sleep in the world, it has to be said. Because I had a Dutch woman shouting at me all night. Do I remember a load of Dutch now? No, not at all. I remember literally like a few words, and those are all words that I actually heard while I was still awake, trying to get back to sleep. So, not a successful experiment. Even though this is broadly what I was expecting to happen, I wondered if I was missing something. Maybe a solid night's sleep is key to making it work. Or maybe it only actually works if you're consolidating material you've already learned in the past. I did some research. So there was an experiment done in which native German speakers were given a selection of Dutch words to learn in the evening, and then half of the group were allowed to go to sleep with an audio clip of those exact same words played back to them, while the other half of the group had to stay awake through the night and carry on practicing the words. And what they found is that the group who went to sleep and had the audio played back to them were able to better recall the words in the morning than the group who'd stayed awake all night trying to actively learn the words. Okay, so what that would seem to suggest is if I learn the words first, then go to sleep and play the recording back through the night, I've got a better chance of remembering the words in the morning. Cool. There's a problem though. You see, is there not a very rational explanation for all of this, for one group having performed so much better than the other in the test in the morning, the group that was able to go to sleep? Can we not just put that down to the fact that they had been asleep, therefore they'd had the chance to go through all of the necessary mental sleepy processes, REM, all that sort of stuff, in order to be able to file away and organise those new words into memories, and they were also just well rested, therefore they were going to perform better in the test anyway. On the other hand, the other group that hadn't been to sleep were really, really tired, so they were not going to perform so well in the test, and they also hadn't had the chance to go through those processes and entrench those words into memories. In other words, the actual sleep may have been the key factor here. The having listened to a recording may have very little to do with it. I feel like we're a long way away from being able to genuinely learn languages in our sleep. The existing research is far from convincing, and even in cases where positive results have been seen, it's always been reinforcing existing knowledge. No new content has actually been learned. But you know what? That's okay. In a way, I sort of feel like the popularity of videos like the one that I watched and the various other ones on the internet reveals a bigger problem, which is that of cutting corners. Sure, if you could save time by learning a language in your sleep, that would be great. But if you feel the need to look for a shortcut as dramatic as that, then maybe you need to first look at what's off-putting to you about learning a language actively during the day. If you want to learn one right now, but you're just lacking the motivation or feeling a bit bored, then maybe you need to reassess your current methods. There's no one-size-fits-all way of learning languages, and the method that works for you is likely to be the method that you enjoy. Learning to enjoy the process is key to learning anything, really, not just learning languages. If you're too focused on the enjoyment that you'll feel further down the line when you achieve your end goal, but you're not enjoying the process as it is now, then you just won't get there. That end goal is going to keep slipping further and further away. So if you're in a situation now where you're maybe lacking motivation or inspiration, then try to think about what it is about your current learning process that isn't satisfying or enjoyable, and switch it out for different things until you find a formula that works for you. Kind of went off on a bit of a tangent there, but hopefully it was a semi-relevant, semi-useful tangent. Anyway, that's about it from me today, so thank you very much for watching. Do feel free to hit that like button if you liked the video, and hover over that subscribe button and give it a click. If you want to check out another video from my channel, you can do so by clicking the link here, or you can head straight over to my channel by clicking on this rather ghastly picture of my face. Thanks once again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video very soon. Goodbye!